I'm waiting on our man. Just the fall. The sky. So share the video. Yeah, good afternoon and good morning and good evening or whatever time you are from wherever you're watching from. This is Maiyegun's Diary. It's an impromptu broadcast because I managed to get a hold of Comrade Omoyele Sowore this afternoon. So I didn't want him to slip away. So yeah, I'm doing so well. Thoughtful writer. Thank you very much. So we are waiting on him, and hopefully he's going to join us. You know, a lot has happened from the moment Omoyele Sowore announced his own political party to every other thing that has happened there. Afterward, the closure of Maiyegun's Diary, and so on and so forth. So a lot has happened, and we need to catch up. Yeah. It was after then that the Wahala impact started as well. So we'll use this opportunity to hear from him directly. He spoke a lot about all this development, but we've never had him on Maiyegun's Diary to keep us abreast with his campaign and all that is going on. Yeah, good afternoon. Olusegun Ogunshola. Well done, Sars. Well done, Smart. Well done, Mars. So we'll wait on Omoyele Sowore. So while we wait for our guests to join us soon, let's take a look at what we are talking about. What we'll be talking about this afternoon. So Omoyele Sowore will be here to clear here on the Take It Back movement. The AAC, that is African Action Congress, his party. Then, the pact and the fallout of pact. 2019, because, people are already asking questions about what is going on, and, they need update, a clear one from the source himself. So, those are the things we'll be talking about this afternoon. The Take It Back movement, the AAC, the pact fallout, and the current one, the libel suit that MFM founder, Pastor Olukoya, sort of, rumored to be bringing up against Omoyele Sowore, So we don't know much about all of that yet, but we can have an idea because Omoyele Sowore himself shared something on that on I don't know, Daniel Malaki. I don't know what happened, but just keep liking it back if you're unliked by the page. Like it back, please. So I'm waiting on our guest anyway. So Omoyele Sowore, it should be here any minute from now. So they say they are suing Sowore for libel, 10 billion naira libel, and eventually Sowore himself is saying something on that on his page this morning, and I think he knows what is coming to him, especially the way he put it on his wall this morning, on his Facebook page this morning, about what is coming. So I don't want to jump the ship. I don't want to start, proof guessing. So I'll wait on him as well. Then we will talk about pact, like I said. We want to know what is the way forward, because even Omoyele Sowore himself, in few of his videos I've watched as well, he's made it clear that wherever the fallout is in or with pact, is very much open to work with with the winner at the long run, but he just want to have it on a much more level playing field, whereby all of them will have something to bring to the table when such discussion will happen. So just give me 1 sec. Let me keep trying and to notify him that we are here. So share the broadcast, invite your friends, invite those who are supposed to be here. It's going to be short, but at the same time it's going to be very interesting as well. So I hope he makes it down soon. So let's enjoy this for a minute anyway. Hello, comrade. Yeah, we are on already, waiting on you anyway. So I sent you a link to the conversation, so you can join us briefly before get set. I know. No wala, we'll wait. Thank you very much. Yeah, see you soon. So that's Comrade Omoyele Sowore there. So we'll keep waiting. It's like it's just walking in, and then we'll have to like set himself up, for this conversation as well. So he's gonna join us in a minute, and I want you to share the video. Yeah, share the video and invite as many of your friends that you can as possible, and we can quickly touch on touch all these raging topics, and clear here on most of these things once and for all. So while we wait, like I said, share the video, invite your friends, and I've got another good news for some of us. And the good news is that we may likely have our Maiyegun's diary back sooner than expected from Facebook. So we have been able to, to open a line of contact with them. And in fact, we've managed to have a full conversation with them. And they are looking into our appeal. They are looking into our petition, looking into a few other things that we have sent in, requesting for the reopening of Maiyegun's diary as soon as possible. So, and that's something on the horizon, So, very soon, we'll likely have our Maiyegun's diary back. So we have our comrade brother here, Omoyele Sowore. So I'm going to try and bring. We can do this as quick as possible. And Mr. President, sir.
Can you hear me?
No, we can't really hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, let me check 1 sec. Yeah, I think you should check your volume there. Can you hear me clearly or loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear as well.
If you can hear me, then we're good. Go ahead. How's everything going on your end?
Yeah, thank you very much, comrade, sir. It's good to have you here again. The last time I had you was when we were talking about or waiting on you to announce your party for the movement. And since then, the day you got the certificate of registration for your party was actually the day they shut down Maiyegun's diary. It was meant to be a night of, night of deeds.
Celebration.
But we couldn't do that. So, but we are managing partially on this platform for now until we get something done with Facebook as well. So it's good to have you back. And it's been a lot has happened. A lot has happened.
Yeah, I know.
In the last time we met.
I'm really sorry about what they did to Maiyegun diary. As you know, you should expect more and more of this. Is to build a community around your project, so that when they do this next time, you can have people who can help you fight back. I have criticized Facebook a lot. Facebook is becoming a global tyrannical regime. And the reason is that people at Facebook don't care about their followers. That's the truth. They're just there to make money, and they're so sensitive to the point of insensitivity that any little thing, they shut you out or they shut you down. Whereas they must understand that these voices like yours and mine are the reason why Facebook is a global brand today. And Facebook must respect the right of others to do what they do everywhere. They don't understand what you stand for, but maybe someday they will. When you stand on your own and alone, now you command the same amount of respect or bigger respect than Facebook is commanding today.
I believe so. Thank you very much for that. That's reassuring anyway. So it's good to have you back, Mr. President, in the waiting, because we just have to start. Everything in Nigeria is becoming psychological these days. The slavery we are talking about is no longer about chains, and it's more psychological now. So, and you, now let's take it
psychological and also digital, digital slavery.
Yeah, it's all manipulation, isn't it? They just manipulate us by every means they can get. So now let's go back to take it back. It all started as a political movement and became an international phenomenon. And today, you have also managed to weather the storm of the political water of Nigeria. One way or the other, you keep surprising us anyway. So we now have AAC. So between the transition between Take It Back to AAC, what has it been for you so far? Because I've not spoke with you in a while.
Yes, I would describe it the way one of brothers and comrades, Malcolm Fabi, described it this last weekend in Dallas. When we were starting this out, we needed an engine first before we get to a vehicle. Most people will get into a vehicle and then start asking for an engine later when they discover that the vehicle can't move. So the Take It Back movement was the engine that we built first, and then we put a vehicle on top of it, and that vehicle is, of course, the political party African Action Congress. And now we are in motion, and there's a lot of movements. There's a lot of motions in our political history in Africa that has no movement behind it. So, and when you have motion without movement, that's called circumlocution. And you are in the same spot and you're just turning around, you are walking through a revolving door. But now they've discovered that we are smarter by doing what we did. And most people expected us to join one of the vehicles
that has the engine.
And we surprised them by creating our own vehicle. And now we can decide our own fate. We can decide what to do and what not to do, of course, democratically, using internal democracy within our own political party. And we don't have to cater to the needs of special interests or, BOTs and all those funny sounding names within Nigeria's political sphere.
Yeah.
So, and that's where we are. And I'm very, very happy to announce to you that a lot of people have keyed into this. Is a global movement first, and now it has become a global.
There is online registration of members as well.
Yes, you can register online, and also you can also register physically. And we're setting up the structures to ensure that people can obtain registration anywhere they may be in Nigeria pretty soon. So that's where we are. It's great news, and as you know, nobody has been able to force this before now. On your platform and everywhere else is where is Sowore going to get a party from? Where's the party? Where's the party? Where is the party? Now we have a party, and it's a big party, and it started with a big bang. It started from being an unknown political party to becoming one of the most talked about political party platforms in Nigeria today.
That's right.
They announced registration of 23 political parties. You can't even find out the name of the rest. You don't know their logo.
But we know AAC, exactly.
But you know AAC, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's something about political party, because now I have to talk to you as a politician now, because you are no longer just that comrade anymore. You have like taken it to the next level now, which is a political platform. And when people talk, they want to know about what about the structures? We have 774 local governments across the country. What is the orientation, the drive behind getting people who are going to man all these positions, all these areas before 2019? That's number one. Number two, people want to know how much you are doing in your own capacity, right? To let AAC, right, become a brand where aspiration of other people are also at the forefront, not just the presidential. So now this is political now. So representation, mobilizing for that, and the rest of that. So
when we started the party, we already had representation in 26 states in Nigeria.
Wow.
And several local governments. What we knew quickly, we needed to fill over 9,000 positions across Nigeria to become a powerful political movement. And that is what is going on at this level and underground right now. As you know, it's the same way we came about forming the party. Nobody knew what we were doing until the party was named. So we cannot expose too many things so that we don't get ambushed.
Which means something is going on that, right?
Our presence in Nigeria is felt. I personally have been around. I've traveled to 28 states. I was on my way to Ekiti when a traffic jam, heavy one on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway stopped me. But that event still held. There was an event that was supposed to happen in Bremen. We couldn't attend. People still stayed, and the one in Sweden, over 100 people showed up after the event was cancelled officially 24 hours before.
Wow.
So that tells you something about how well this is not just organizing and mobilizing within Nigeria, but it's also about mobilizing around the world. It's a global movement. It's a global political party. So we're doing the best we can. And we have limited resources because we don't have godfathers. We rely on regular Nigerians out there to contribute and support the movement. But as I speak with you, a lot of people have contributed to the movement in cash, kind. People are donating vehicles to us. People are donating, their properties to us to use as our secretariat. People are donating electronic equipment, and it's going on very well. I have to tell you, compared to others, we are doing very, very well with the little we have.
Thank you very much. That's impressive. So the last time before Maiyegun's diary disappeared on air, we broke the news of Pat, and a lot has happened after that news as well. In fact, it's one of the trending news in Nigeria today that you see, look at that, they couldn't manage anything. Sorry, one sec, Mr. President, just one sec.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. President.
Yeah.
I shut the door and that's my people back. So
Yeah,
I had to quickly, I left the key on the door. So thank you very much for waiting. And sorry to our audience. I'm sorry for that interruption as well. So we broke the news about Pat, and it was impressive. And in fact, the video that you is the trio of you and you, what's his name, Kingsley Moalu, Fela Durotoye. The video that you three appeared in, where you said we have agreed to work together, was a viral video and was very, very impressive. But there's something you didn't tell us then that you later came back to tell us, that you observed some certain things that made you opted out in the first place. But maybe because Maiyegun was not on, I wasn't able to give that a real follow-up and probably carried our, Nigerians along in that regard. So the disappointment now is that Pat has collapsed. The people, the key players there, don't want to give in, and the rest of that. What happened with Pat? Or what happened to Pat? Let me use that word.
I did address Pat immediately after the meeting was over. I attended only one official meeting, and another unofficial meeting at Charlie Boy's house. That was where the video was taken, where they said, we all said we work together. Mm-hmm. I realized very quickly, as soon as I got to PACT, that PACT was set up, without the knowledge of anybody to achieve a predetermined result. And
who are those behind it? I said I'm going to ask you. Who are those behind PACT? Who invited you to PACT?
So, for example, and I'll tell you, I'm down to earth about this.
All right,
I was actually the one who first invited Ekubese, Dr. Wilson Ekubese, to come join us, because I saw that, to me, he came to one of our meetings in Abuja, and I like his courage and demeanor. And I said, why don't you join us instead of continuing with your presidential aspiration? You can join us and let's work together. And he said, I have other people who are presidential aspirants that have been wanting to talk to you. So I agreed, and we met at my hotel room. I was supposed to have a meeting with the Ekubese, Matthias Sado, who was paying for the hotel the next day. And Fela didn't show up. But the two other guys showed up, and we marshaled out what we thought was the agenda for the meeting together at my hotel. And the next day, I went there and discovered that 18 people had showed up who claimed to be presidential aspirants. I only know about 4 of them or 5 of them. So, and at the meeting, it was very clear that we're not on the same page, especially with my own philosophy and ideology. They were talking about elders. The elders want this, the elders want that. And I asked them, who are the elders? Which elders are you talking? I thought we started this whole young people revolutionary campaigning for presidency because we're tired of the elders. Anyways, you couldn't shut them up. The loudest among them were the ones that I've never met before. So I started to have a rethink right there. And before you could say Jack Robinson, they said we should form a coalition. I said, no, I'm not forming any coalition. I said, at that point, I knew this was some kind of a trap. And before we could say coalition, before suggestions went around, Fela had, given a name for the coalition. I'm watching. So
what's the name? What's the name again?
I'm not joining any coalition. I'm not joining any coalition. They were a little bit unsettled with my refusal to be part of a coalition. And when we met at Charlie Boy's house informally later in the day, they said the same thing. Kingsley even said, and I'm quoting him correctly now, that he had meetings with some elders, and the elders were looking for a candidate that is acceptable to them.
Kingsley Moalu.
I said, Kingsley, who are these elders? You guys kept talking about elders. If we come out of this place producing a candidate acceptable to the elders, then we have failed the Nigerian people who want to do away with these elders or old people. So at that point, I started to know and understand that I was on the same page with them. And I bid them goodbye from there. But when I realized that they were still using my name, to garner whatever they wanted for the coalition, I had to issue an advisory to all our followers to say, look, we are not part of PACT. And we stated our concerns. Because one of the things we agreed upon on that day was that we should allow PACT members, right? We should allow PACT members to go to face primaries in their individual political parties. It is when they have become candidates that it will make sense to now come together and maybe choose one of us, But even then, I wasn't interested in being chosen to lead young people. I didn't want all of us to put our eggs in one basket. But I did advise. But as soon as I left that meeting, they changed that structure, and I never went back. So I was surprised. I wasn't surprised at what happened. What shocked me a bit was that I thought that Kingsley was a little smarter than he appeared. And I'm saying this publicly. I met Kingsley twice. I usually like to take credit for taking him to his first protest at INEC. I laugh about that. It's a joke.
Yeah.
I also met Fela, great smooth talking guy, but you could never tell where he stands. And he's very, very calculating. I saw all of this, all of the things they were doing in PACT. I'd seen it when I was a student union leader in the 90s, early 90s. So there was nothing new to me. I've met this kind of people before. But I was surprised that Kingsley fell for what was going on, to the point that he signed an agreement. Not only did he sign an agreement, at Charlie Boy's house, he also said on video that he will step down for whomever emerges as the candidate of PACT.
Yeah, I think we're having a glitch there as well. This is interesting because sometimes what goes on behind the curtain in politics is beyond what many of you or what you are shown on social media. Now, I'm hearing this about elders. You remember the last time I was on Maiyegun's diary back, but I think the network is acting funny with us. So, but we'll still come back to that anyway. You see, in politics, I told you that sometimes all these people, all these politicians, right? They are like magicians. Magicians will show you two hands, and you will think he's using the two hands to perform magic. No, he's actually using one to deceive you, while he's using one, busy with one, to achieve whatever he wants to achieve with. This is what most politicians are. And some of these are our people. They have studied the craft. Which one is elders? Elders in the discussion of the young people. Elders said you should go and bring someone. I heard that and I was like, what? How is that possible? I mean, if that is going to come from anybody, it shouldn't come from those young people who are saying they want to lead us, that we can trust them. It shouldn't. But let's continue the discussion as we bring back Comrade Omoyele Sowore. I would love to have Professor Kingsley Moghalu as well of Maiyegun's diary. Hopefully very soon. Yeah, we had network glitch there. So how are you, sir?
Yeah, so I'm back. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. But your voice seems to be a little bit lower again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully we have great reception.
Yeah, I think your voice is still very much lower as well. I don't know what happened. Maybe you should check.
All right, I'm going to
the volume.
I'm checking the volume.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, so just so that I complete the story, my only disappointment was that Kingsley, who I thought knew what he was doing, fell for whatever it was they were doing at PACT. And I think what it did was that having targeted, this is not the first time we were targeted for this kind of thing. And that's why I wasn't surprised at the outcome, because I think one of them confided in me. He said, well, before you came, Sowore, we have been meeting. It wasn't until you came that you gave us visibility. So I was the only new addition, perhaps, to that group. And Kingsley was being told that he was the best. You know that story, that folklore story about bringing the elephants to come and become the king. And the villagers dug a big grave, for the elephant and put a mat over it. And because the elephant is not smart, he came and sat on this throne, that was fake, and it collapsed inside the grave, and the villagers were able to eat the elephant because they were hungry. That's what they did to Kingsley. They saw Kingsley as an elephant. They also probably saw me as one, but and I'm not saying that to brag, but they realized very quickly that I wasn't just a dinosaur. You couldn't just lure me into something without answering serious questions about your intention. And I interrogated their intention and found out that it has some link with what I am diametrically opposed to. The mention of elders at this meeting, they kept talking about elders, and how the elders are watching us and they want us to present the candidates and things like that. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yeah, we can't hear you anymore. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
No, not really.
Oh, good. This is
sad.
I
think I can hear you now anyway.
Okay.
And the position of the camera as well is also like, shaky. I know you are holding it anyway.
Yes, I had to hold it because this is impromptu. I'm traveling tonight.
I know.
I'm traveling tonight to Nigeria, so I'm running around just to
I told my audience as well. So now, at that point, one of the surprise we got was that the Professor Kingsley Moghalu allowed himself, or probably expected, to be the consensus candidate.
No, they convinced him, and he convinced himself as well. That there was nobody better than him, and that Kingsley Moghalu had always told people who were close to him that he would never step down for anybody in this race, and but maybe he didn't find the traction on the street to be encouraging, and he thought he needed these people because Kingsley is very well packaged when you talk about PR. His PR people are like the same people who worked for Buhari in 2014. So they package him very well in terms of PR. But, we decided not to go that route. We're organic. We don't want to deceive ourselves with fake supporters. We go to the people. We go on the streets. We travel around Nigeria. We hang out with ordinary people. We hear them. We ask them questions, and they ask us questions. We make presentations. We engage. We interact. They don't do that. So because of that, I think that's what made Professor Moghalu to have gone the route of seeking legitimacy from PACT. PACT had over 18 people, so many of the presidential aspirants, with due respect to them. I've never heard about them before. I don't think so many of them are actually running. They just said we are running. One of them, I think, told me that he started running 5 days before the meeting. So that would
even Tokwe Fashua eventually agreed with your own line of thoughts from the. Well, all of you kept all of that to yourselves.
Yeah,
right. Even Tokwe Fashua said he didn't want to embarrass the group.
If I had come out and said that this is the reason why, if I brought out the details, for me it would have been petty. The moment I wasn't part of them, I wasn't joining them, there was no point spending my time, especially when I had to go out there to campaign, spending my time addressing PACT people when I need to do a campaign in Benue, and it requires for me to travel for 5 hours. So sometimes I have to protest, to get journalists released, to get INEC to increase the number of days for voters registration. I have to
commend you for that one, because if nobody gives you the credit for that, you and the Concerned Nigeria group and other Nigerians who joined you to make that happen. The extension
were happening. They were happening. So I didn't have the time to become petty. And I have to also say that I was surprised that Fashua eventually came out and said the truth.
I was surprised too.
Yes, because when I left, they sponsored some write-up against me, and Fashua was one of the persons who said, hey, this is good for Sowore and all that. But I was surprised that he eventually came out to say the truth about particularly my clairvoyance in the group, to say, look, this doesn't look right, and I'm not going to waste my time becoming part of, you see, what those kind of coalition could do. The last damage has not been done if we are not careful. If we don't have original, correct people in those kind of organization or coalition or, platforms, we might end up one day, and the coalition will just say, well, we have discovered that we don't have support. We are stepping down for one of the elders. Yes, they will step down for one of the elders, and there's nothing you can do about it. By then, all of your eggs will have been put in a basket, and they will crush it and use it to make omelets and share amongst themselves.
And that's it.
That is what I was avoiding, and this is why I was surprised that, Moghalu didn't see it coming. But, it shows clearly, his judgments.
Now let me speak. Let me ask you a question that is always in the mind of Nigerians, and I'm going to ask it. It's a straightforward question, which means it borders on trust.
Yeah.
Primary problem that Nigerians have with politicians, and even politicians among themselves, is trust. The problem they have, that's primary, and that's why they say it's about interest.
Yeah.
You see, with the fallout from this whole exercise, from day one, like you said, right, and the resultant effect of that today, do you still see yourself sitting down to trust anything any of these guys eventually comes up with to help your own aspiration as well? Do you find? Do you see yourself sitting down and trusting them?
There's something I've always said when people ask me about working with other presidential aspirants, younger presidential. I've always said it, that when the time comes, the boys will be separated from men.
That's right.
Yes, and that is coming to pass already. So now you can tell in terms of judgment, in terms of clairvoyance, in terms of will and focus, who knew ahead of time what was going to happen and had prepared himself for it. So we have 18 people now. You can judge, and I think that's, I would shamelessly use as a selling point on your platform, that you can know who to trust. You can know who to trust when it comes to not getting involved in something that you're not clear about. And that's what leaders are made of. Leaders are people who, in their private moments, even when they are being pushed by their followers, can take informed decisions that will help decide the fate of a majority, even when the majority may not have seen if it was in their interest or not. That's what leadership is about. And that's why we've groomed ourselves over these years. That's to tell you that there's experience as well.
That's right.
Because you can have all the degrees in the world. If you don't have experience, if you don't have ability to make informed decisions, if you don't have will, if you don't have the kind of commitment that can lead you in the right direction, you will fail. And this is the first test of, test of the will and the clarity and understanding of so many of these candidates, that this is the first, that we couldn't first come together and work together the way we should. Secondly, that we can't stand by decisions that we have taken. I stood by my own decision till up to this moment. I'm still standing on the same position. Tokwe Fashua, who was slightly hostile towards me, even at the meeting, and subsequently after, came out and was very clear that Sowore always said this. But guess what they did? Another very, very dishonest thing I thought happened after that, which makes me feel uncomfortable with these guys, is that they started sponsoring news items that I was defeated in an election that I did not participate in. And they did nothing to correct it. If Tokwe hadn't come out, it would have been up to me to be defending myself. Some could have believed, some wouldn't have believed. But when they were writing headlines that Sowore defeated, Sowore and Moghalu was defeated by Fela and the others, did nothing to correct the impression.
They just move along with it and all that.
They were enjoying it. Sowore has been defeated.
Now, before we take onto the second to the last one, there's something I also personally said I was going to ask you as well. Who gave you the idea that you should pull up this new party registration from nowhere? Who gave you the idea? Like, I don't.
Maybe
we were expecting you. We were expecting you to choose one of these new parties, make it popular, and then then from nowhere you brought that out. How did you come by that? Like, for real?
So one of the things we did was that when we started talking to a lot of parties we thought were new, and some of them we thought had ideological similarity with our brand. And it didn't take long to realize that there were no many parties left. And when PDP formed their COP, they went after us. Two of the parties we were talking to, they went after them. That was the NIP party and also the NC.
Yeah, please check the volume there. I think we are losing your voice there.
Okay, I'm trying. Okay.
So, sometimes when you hold the device, you are using your finger to cover the microphone, so that's when it will just disappear.
All right. So we were very clear that these people were targeting us, and we had to go underground and re-strategize, and that's what we did. And this will
And you
let
made
you
yourself the
know.
chairman pro tempore
Yeah,
of the party.
I'm the chairman. I'm the pro-tem chairman of the party, but I don't want to keep that position for too long.
No, I know you
I'm glad
won't.
that
I know, but
I'm glad we
that's
have
something that is smart. Something
yeah.
that is smart, whereby
So
you can go to bed and sleep with your two eyes closed when it comes to
yeah,
AAC. So I've always wanted to ask you, like, how did you
yeah.
come by that? Like, you don't have to worry that they say your party chairman is
But
sitting with Atiku.
I also don't want to take credit for this alone. It also
No, I
shows
know
to
it's not
you
about
that
credit. No, it's not about credit. I'm
it
talking
also shows
about
to you that
how did that
this
come by? That's a shocker that people don't even pay attention to. That
yeah
that on its own is a
we
punchline in politics that
yeah
people seems not to pay attention to.
People won't pay attention to a lot of things until they are convinced. We will keep convincing people that we are right for this, we are right for it, and this is the right
So,
time for us to take back our country.
2019, Mr.
And this
President.
is just to also tell you that whatever it is that happened, uh, we have a lot of young people, very bright, smart young people who are working with us. One day you'll find out who these guys are, and you'll be blown away. You'll be blown away. Yeah.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
2019 is coming, so fast now. It's like it's rushing at us right now. INEC has set out the timetable and for different activities and all that, and people will be looking out for AAC to also, put up some shows. Like now that it's going to be national, you know what I mean? So they will be expecting what is the outcome or what is the the turn up in the north, what is the turn up in the southeast and all over the country. And people are actually watching, like you said. They are
People are
watching. They
watching.
may pretend not to, but they are.
I understand. I mean, this
So
show is at
what
626
should
views
we be
already.
looking forward to 2019, so
No,
to say?
so
Maybe I should put it that
we
way
have our
from
state
AAC.
we have our state congresses happening already on September 22nd. We'll continue to move around both locally and globally, and we have enough.
I think that's another network glitch there. So I hope we get it back as soon as possible. Yeah. So it's amazing to have this conversation with Omoyele Sowore, and thank you so much for those who have finally joined us, especially the Take It Back movement members. We may not be able to read much of the comment because makes it it's like it's cutting out our time, the little time we have with Omoyele Sowore this afternoon. But we'll wrap it up on 2019 race and then the ongoing libel suit that we just heard about from the MFM, Mountain of Fire and Miracle, or Mountain of Fire's ministry, or thereabout. So suing Omoyele Sowore for 10 billion naira. So I want to know more about that, even though if the case is already on, so you won't be able to say much on that. But if the rumor is that, yeah, a case is coming up, then we'd love to hear about it and see how much some of the people we want to believe. Yeah, we have Mr. President back. So the people who want to believe that Agbalagbas that should never have been in the market and allow a toddler's head to bend or break. So we'll get to know more about that. So thank you so much, Mr. President, for joining us for the third time, on this platform today. So and it's going to be the final one, hopefully, because we have just 2 things to take now. So 2019, so much expectations from almost everyone and so much fear as well, if you know what I mean. So it's like it's coming both ways, and the propaganda this time around, I want to believe, is going to be like channeled towards AAC now. I'm not going to say Omoyele Sowore now. Yeah, they may attack AAC because of Omoyele Sowore, but they're going to come for the party. How prepared are you? You have been there, but this time around, you've never been in the ring with your gloves on, right? But this time, in the past, you've never been, but this time around, you are now in the ring and with your gloves on. So how prepared is AAC, in your own brief opinion, towards 2019 now?
We are very, very well prepared for this. Like I said, you can imagine we started a movement 6 months ago. It's become a global movement. We started a party less than 3 weeks ago. It has become a national party.
That's right.
Without money, without godfathers, without a private jet, we don't even have a vehicle. Even as we speak, we only have an official office. Every other office has just been donated to us all across the country. Mm-hmm. So nobody can be more prepared than this. No party is more prepared than we are. We are running in some local elections, I think, in December in Ondo State as well for local government. And people are already joining. We have over 1,000 aspirants who have joined us. You know, I won't say officially yet, but
all over the country who have shown interest.
Yes, all over the country to run for all kinds of offices. And we are talking to them and preparing them for the future. And we will have our convention state on September 22nd, a national one on October 6th. And we'll present to Nigerians a presidential candidate for the party after that. I'm not preempting who the person will be because, you know, it's open for all to come.
You'll be diplomatic, with that. So I understand.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that it will be open. It's the way we want it to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're prepared. We're very prepared, and
we should keep being optimistic about it. Yeah, right.
It's not about optimism alone. We are also working very hard to ensure that we defeat these old guards at every level. You know, I've always been saying that we will contest whatever is contestable everywhere.
But with the current, I've heard of Saraki Lega battle with you as Sahara reporters. Yes. But this new one, I want to believe it's still a rumor. I don't think it's been in court yet. What happened between MF?
I haven't seen the paperwork yet. You know, I'm in the US. I've only seen the propaganda in the media of but I'm not a stranger to lawsuits. I'm not a stranger to police arrest, harassment.
Well, what brought you and MFM together? Because we can understand that of Saraki, but what would be the case between you and, Pastor Olukoya?
My brand of reporting has always been a target of repression by people. What I know is that I went to MFM some years ago to cover their Holy Ghost nights, and I was rough-handed. I was beaten up by the guards and detained within the premises of the church, only to find out that the church was maintaining a detention center that's illegal. They eventually came to me while in detention. This was on New Year's Eve. I don't know which year exactly now. It was a few years ago. And apologized to me. And after that, asked that I should come see Olukoya. And I said, I'm not going to see him. I don't need to go and see him. I was doing my job as a journalist. There was a radio invitation for people to come to the church. And I wanted to cover it for Sahara reporters at that time to find out how people worship on New Year's Eve. And I was actually approaching the pulpit where he was preaching when I was grabbed. And, my camera was seized, but I had a hidden camera that was filming the whole thing. And I put it out. So ever since then, they've somehow been antagonistic towards me and Sahara reporters because I refuse to go back to them. Normally what these churches do is that, they will oppress and repress you. And then they'll somehow send people after you to come to the church, come and beg. And they'll say, well, you see what he did is, as I said to them, I'm not
just like with Pastor Sulaiman.
All those people, yeah, they do that all the time. By the way, I was also sued by Sulaiman, and after he sued me and Otobo, he went back and went and settled with Otobo. So they cannot continue the case now in court without including Otobo because Otobo is our main witness. But they've already taken care of Otobo and shoved her out of the way.
There's no case.
So I'm used to all these antics. I think what he's suing about happened in the US. One of the lawyers or his pastors took him to court, and we reported the proceedings of the case. And he wasn't happy about it. He sent people to me as well. He actually sent his lawyer here to me to send me a cease and desist letter. And I told that one that no lawyer can stop reporters from reporting on active matters that are in the public domain. And the lawyer backed off because they know they can't win against us. So the lawyer backed up very quickly, never came back. And I think what they do in Nigeria is that he's taken after the Saraki style. He went to Akwa Ibom. You are based in Lagos. He went to Akwa Ibom to look for a judge to sue Sowore, who is
So
based
it went
in the US.
job
Saraki
shifting, they
Reporters is
call
based
it.
in the US. The case that they are complaining about, I suppose, it happened in Maryland. So the best forum for it would have been the US. But you know, in the US, you can't win such a frivolous lawsuit. And if you had to sue us in the law US, we can recoup some of our costs from him by countersuing him. Because we're doing our job. You can't harass journalists. Even if you are the president of the US, you can't use libel lawsuits to shut up journalists. So what they did is the same thing that Saraki did. Well, you remember, when Saraki did what he did to me, I said to him that this is the beginning of the end of his kleptomaniac dynasty. And I don't need to tell you what is happening now.
I know.
That lawsuit enabled people in Kwara to understand that you can actually challenge Saraki. We took people down to court. They beat up our supporters. The following court proceeding, we went back again, and the judge had to panic. And now we are in the Court of Appeal. But before they could do that, he had already illegally put away, frozen our accounts, thinking that the agenda was to shut down Sahara Reporters at that time. That was last year.
Yeah.
But look at where we are now. Our platform is still waxing very strong.
That's right.
We are able to sustain our activities, even though $200,000 of our money given to us as a grant was put in custody of Saraki. But Saraki, like I said, can never have peace, because he stole depositors' money at Society General Bank. He destroyed the life of people in Kwara, and there's no reason such a person will not come to judgment one day. And he knows
people, let me use this as our final note before you give us your closing remark, and we'll call it a day. Here is that, you see, people, many people are sort of against Sowore and everything you are part of. I mean, the few that are currently trying to, get at you, they are mostly doing so because of Sahara Reporters reporting and all that. So now that you are running for president, right? They still seem not to be able to separate you from Sahara Reporters. So whatever you say, they still see it as that's Sowore talking. It's not Sahara Reporters. And don't you see that? Don't you see the mix-up as well yourself?
There's no mix-up.
Because it's easier now to sue you because you are now a presidential candidate.
Maiyegun, let me say this. If I'm benefiting from the work of Sahara Reporters, I should also be willing to also accept the backlash when they come from the work of Sahara Reporters. Everybody knows Sahara Reporters to be my baby. I founded Sahara Reporters. I worked there. I am not separating myself from Sahara Reporters.
Even while running for public office. I mean.
Exactly. No, if Sahara Reporters has done so well, I have said it that Sahara Reporters or myself had been in the business of offending people.
Okay.
Powerful people. Whether they are religious cabals, they are, economic cabals, they are political cabals, cultural cabals, traditional cabals. We offend all of them in equal measure. We are equal opportunity offenders, right? And we offend everybody in the interest of our own people, our own constituency. Sahara Reporters was a media movement. Everybody participated in Sahara Reporters, as contributors, suppliers of information, whistleblowers, commentators. And you know that you go to Sahara Reporters today, you find my friends and enemies there in equal measure as well. They are all allowed to freely express themselves. So what these pastors are doing is to see if they can also do what Saraki did, to seize the money for Sowore for president, because we are raising money transparently. We have a Nigerian account. If they can get a judgment behind our back, they will use it to freeze the account and stop Sowore from becoming president. That is what it's all about, So
do you see them?
We have not been served. Before, like right now, we have not been served. I've not been served any of the proceedings because I'm in the US. Sahara Reporters is in the US. They are not going. You see, they will not serve properly. They will ensure that. That's why they are looking for judges who might do that. And I'm not in any way insinuating yet that this judge or whomever is the judge is working for them. But it's suspicious enough that a Lagos-based international pastor, we need to go to Akwa Ibom to find a judge to sue a US-based media company. What is the forum? How is the forum Akwa Ibom? What did we write that had something to do with Akwa Ibom? You mean you can't find a law court in Lagos that you can file the case, you have to go to Akwa Ibom. It's the same way Saraki went to Ilorin. Even Saraki was Senate President of Nigeria. He couldn't find a judge in Lagos. He now find a judge in Abuja. You had to go to Ilorin, and that's why I kept calling that case Jankara case. It's this black market where they purchase judgment. And all of this will come to an end one day. There's no question about it.
The worst fear, Mr.
I understand people who are apprehensive because a lot of people worship these men of God, God of men, as we call them. And they forget to worship the real person, the real deity they should worship, which is God of justice. And God of justice will always prevail over these men of just us. So nothing to worry about. Like I said yesterday, we will go to court if we are properly served and contest the case. The case happened in the U.S., I suppose. We expect them to. It's the same thing. Saraki threatened that he would sue me in New York. I was waiting for him. Dino Melaye said he would sue me in New York. They can't come to New York.
Obani Koro sued you. He sued you in Washington.
Koro sued me in New York. He lost.
Was he in New York as well? Yeah.
Yeah, he sued me in New York and sued me. He lost in New York. That's why they don't come to New York. I've been sued 4 times in New York here or in the U.S. I won all the cases because here you cannot buy judges. You cannot go to the judge.
Our fear, most of the fear of the people right now is that as this whole thing is getting more serious, right? And we are getting closer and closer and closer to the election. The worst fear is that, we don't want to wake up one morning and they say they've arrested Sowore.
No, and you should be prepared for that.
Exactly.
You should be prepared for that. You can wake up one morning and find out that they have arrested Sowore. What they're also trying to do, is they'll go to any extent. I've been through this before. Anybody who is not willing to fight should not get involved in a fight at all. And you get into a fight, you get bruised. I have been going through this since I was in my 20s. At the University of Lagos, the same things played out, There were a lot of cabals. It was in the academic cabal at that time. They said I would never graduate. They expelled me from the university twice. I was arrested by the military several times, at least 8 times I counted. I was detained in a dungeon before in Lagos. I was detained in Yola when I went to do my NYC. They've done all kinds of things to me. But we're still standing today because I'm not standing alone. I'm standing with the conscience of people who are conscientious objectors to misgovernance and the looting that is happening of our country and the destruction and the decimation of integrity and the dignity of our people. We are not going to stand down. So if you are worried about my getting arrested, maybe you are following the wrong person.
Well, they're worried. Sometimes when you talk to a leader, one of the things you want to see is that I may walk to you scared, but when you talk to me and say, "Look at me," right? You have me here.
Yes.
Fear not. Then you just realize that you are just grooming some lions at the end of the day. That the moment they are unleashed, right? If you get what I mean. So, but sometimes we can be some sort of curious.
We are not grooming lions. We are grooming people who are going to resist every act of oppression.
That's what I'm saying. They say this oppression or this oppression will bring out the beast in us. It doesn't mean that we are beasts, but the moment you are pushed.
No, exactly. Maybe the refined way to put it is that every act of oppression will bring equal measure of resistance.
The resistance can be, I don't know. Anyway, you've been there, so I'll agree with you.
The resistance will be determined by the oppressor.
That's what I'm saying. And the beastly part of us that we are trying to a little bit give some sort of a certain name, right? May end up being like the beast in us that will call the real name when these people push it further. But if they keep pushing people, look, they've been shoving and pushing people around for 58 years. And Nigerians are saying they are sick and tired of being shoved around. They want their dignity back. They want their country back. They want to take it back. Nobody's going to take it back without resisting those who have taken it. All right.
That is what you are going to see. And they will come in different fashion. They will come in different ways. They will come in different character, structure. Well, you must be able to understand that somehow this oppression will not stop simply because you wish it away. You have to stand firm and stand your ground and fight until you are liberated,
Thank you.
If people don't fight elsewhere, we won't even have internet today.
I know. Thank you so much for this brief appearance you just made, for us this afternoon. You go a long way, and I like that. But before you go, again, finally, I want because I was happy when I saw you with one of these Benin brothers in Texas 2 days ago, thereabout, and with
Yeah.
with what happened before then, I was personally like relieved because I remember how many of his followers, his viewers, who approached me, and I was like, I'm not really following this guy, but they were sending me videos of a lot of things, and when I saw you too. That day I was like, yeah, that's it. That's something that people should pay attention to. For whatever it's worth, you were there and you listened to him. He was happy. I saw it. And that will go a long way.
Where I said I will reach out to him and that we will talk to
We
him.
can't hear you clearly, please, Mr. President. Yeah.
Last week said I'll get back in touch with people regarding the mega comment. He has concerns and he's been following us.
Sorry, we can't hear you. We can't. I don't think that's loud enough.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you.
All right. I was saying that last week I did a video where I said I would reach out to him, and we went to Dallas and we met, and it went out. It came out very well. Look, you cannot have an organization that is growing so fast and not have people who have concerns and disagree. Some of them will go public, some of them will be private. We resolve them, and we keep moving on. We have a common desire to liberate Nigeria, and everybody who is interested will definitely stay with us until the end. You don't have to worry at all about that. So Mega Comrade is
Mega Comrade. Yeah, I remember his name now.
We're all back.
It's lovely. It's lovely to see that, and I'm impressed.
He actually said it that he never really left. He just wanted us to resolve some issues.
And I'm
that
happy.
He thought, was militating against our smooth takeover of the political space. So
and you know what thing is that there's this my sister here. His name is Stephanie. She's watching as well. She sent message. She tried to send me inbox messages, WhatsApp messages, including voice messages. That Maiyegun, you see our people in Benin, when they start their fight, they handle, now so that they do. I was like, well, I don't even know what to do. Anyway, I'll see. And then we made move.
They are our people. Benin people are our people. Igala people are our people.
Yes.
Bachama people are our people. TV people are our people. Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Fulani. Everybody is our person. We've been to all these places. They want a new country. They want to take their country back.
That's right.
And they're relying on us to do it. And we are leading the charge. Do not worry about what happened to us in the process. Just keep your eyes on the final result because we'll take this country back. We will. It's going to happen.
I like that. So what's going to be what's going to be the takeaway from you this afternoon? Because I don't know how long I'm going to get a hold of you again. And it's a gamble that you just you will never be too sure that you'll win. So a takeaway from you until we meet again.
There's no takeaway yet because we're not even there. But it's just I'll constantly be back on your platform.
I love that.
Yes. And also to encourage you not to give up. You have faced your own local Facebook tyranny, so you understand what it means to be oppressed.
And it's sad.
Wherever you are, you remember years ago, I had a similar issue with Facebook. Saraki created a fake page, Sahara Reporters fake page, and they were populating it. We alerted Facebook to it. Facebook won't do anything, but it turns out that they had their own grudges against us inside Facebook. You can't believe it. These are stories that we will tell at another time and in another forum in the future. And at the end of the day, we were able to fight until we got them to delete that page. We got them to delete that page because he was sponsoring the page. The page had reached about 200,000 followers.
Wow.
They were just merely repeating our stories. They were stealing our stories and repeating it, plagiarizing our content. And Facebook won't do anything about it. When we fought them, we had to take the fight everywhere, and we found out that Facebook has its own little tyrannical team on the continent of Africa. Yes, and they have their relationships with some of these African leaders because at the end of the day, Facebook is a big business. So,
that's right.
And they don't want to offend people who might stand in the way of how much money they make out of Nigeria. But we fought, and we had a respectable agreement and settled it, and they deleted the pages at that time. So get used to it, and get used to the fact that even the little you are doing here, somebody's going to sue you one day.
I can't wait. I want to see how that feels. You know what I mean? I want to see how
anytime they sue you for doing what is right, just know that you are doing something right. Yes.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. And I'll be following as you take your leave, to Nigeria
Yeah,
tonight.
and I also want to use this opportunity to invite our supporters to come to the airport tomorrow. We're arriving back to Nigeria tomorrow. If you're available and you can come to the airport and around noon tomorrow, we'll be back in Nigeria. And we'll take the battle. We just also thank our supporters in Dallas and Calgary in Canada, where we were the day before yesterday. I've been traveling for 4 days now,
You've
nonstop.
always
And
been.
tonight,
You've
I'm
always been.
headed to Nigeria again. We must take our country back. Take it back, people.
We will.
AAC, take it back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, comrade. It's a pleasure talking to you. We can do this on and on and on. As in, we can go on and on and on and on and not stop. And the audience will never be tired as well. They will be here.
See you in Nigeria tomorrow. See you in Lagos. See you in Benin at the Obas Palace on September 6th. We'll hit the ground running, people. Do not be discouraged and don't be afraid.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. So we'll monitor from here anyway. So good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. So that's our presidential aspirant for now, Omoyele Sowore of African Action Congress. So for those of you who know Maiyegun's Diary live very well, and you've not heard from Maiyegun in a while, well, this is where I am currently taking refuge until we manage to get ourselves out of Facebook, dungeon, like Omoyele Sowore said. So until then, follow this page, share this video, share this page, invite your friends. We'll be congregating here for now. And in the next few days, hopefully, we'll get our page back, and then we can, as a firebrand, we can fire on. You have heard all that, happened between the transition from Take It Back to African Action Congress, AAC, what transpired between the participants in PACT and how it all went and the outcome. And you've all heard of that as well. I mean, you've all listened to that. So it's a beautiful and brilliant afternoon for us that we're able to hear from Omoyele Sowore. And I'm so personally happy that he's done so well. That must be established, and that must be acknowledged. He may have his own shortcomings. In fact, many of you criticize him or who sort of ask for his head every day. You may have your reasons as well. But one thing you must not take away from him is the fact that he's done so well. He's done so well. And his case is like that of a lizard that falls off Iroko tree. And as high as that Iroko tree, the lizard survived the fall. And when he looked around and looked to the left and to the right, he saw no one who even noticed that he fell from that height. Guess what? The lizard told himself, if no one will acknowledge this feat, if no one is going to praise the survivor from that fall, I'll praise myself. So in this regard, on behalf of Omoyele Sowore and the Take It Back team all over the world, he said he's not going to take the credit for it. He would not want to take the credit alone. Yeah, he's right. He has a team of dedicated young Nigerians and young non-Nigerians who are working behind the scene to package all of this. Some of those who have no idea of what he's doing says he's being financed by the same people he's trashing and tongue-lashing every day in the media. So, but guess what? I can tell you this. There are young Nigerians and young non-Nigerians, young and old, who are working behind the scene, behind the camera, day and night to put all of this together. And therefore, they deserve some accolades. They have done so well. Give it to them. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, everyone. And I hope I'll see you some other time. Until then, keep faith. PDP, APC, they are not the option. And if anyone tells you that PDP is coming to rescue you, tell them your mumu don't do. You have you've learned enough, and you will never repeat the same mistake again. Walk this path with faith. You will meet your compatriots along the line, along the road. And guess what? You even have a tag. Call it what you want to call it. I call it take it back. It's contagious and we can't rule it out, or we can't rule out the effect of that tag. So if you have nothing, or if you are so worried of what the future holds, add yourself to this tag and let us take a walk of faith. Yeah, let's take a walk of faith. And in this, on this note, I will draw the curtain this afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. And you have a beautiful, wonderful day ahead and a week as well. Thank you. Good evening.